Hi everybody, John here from Frugal Student Garden. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about gardening in small spaces. This is just a couple of examples of things that I've been doing lately to try and prove that you can garden in a small space, and you don't need a huge amount of area. You could do this sort of stuff on a balcony in an apartment building, or even just in a very small backyard, and you can actually grow a lot of vegetables in a relatively short amount of time. So don't worry too much if you haven't got a big section or a farm or anything like that. You can grow quite a bit without all of that stuff. So this is the first thing that I've tried. I'll just show you here. This is my latest idea of a pallet garden. It's basically get a pallet, nail it to a fence, and look at all those plants you can plant in it. It's basically, I've just filled it with a half mix of compost and potting mix. Technically probably should have used more potting mix in it, but I wanted to make it a bit cheaper. Compost is generally cheaper, so I mixed them 50-50 and filled it up. This took about, I think it was about 3.5 bags of potting mix and compost from my to 10, so I think on average about a bag of compost is about $6, and a bag of potting mix is about 10 or so, something like that. So for under $50 I was able to make this just out of all recycled gear. And then the plants, you just buy 6 packs of whatever was on special. So for plants we have a red lettuce here, some parsley, that's either a cauliflower or broccoli, I can't remember which ones I got, but a bit of bok choy, and I sort of just spread them through. Here we have a basil. The basil's not really liking it too much, but everything else seems to be doing pretty well. Just a note, when I first planted these, they kind of drooped a lot for the first few days. They looked fairly sick, but they've perked up. This is about 2 weeks later now, and they're looking really good. One thing I do note that is a potential problem is that you have to water it quite regularly, and getting water in there can be a bit of a trick, trying to get it in through here. So I think at some point I'll probably try and organise making some sort of a drip irrigation system for it, just so that it doesn't dry out too much. But so far it's working really well. If you look around here, it's just nailed. I put a piece of 4x2 onto the fence, and then this is just a bracket that I've nailed on with a few nails. Some of these nails didn't really want to go in very well, and I'm not the best builder, but it does the trick. And then for a backing, I don't know if you can see in there, but this is just an old bed sheet that I had lying around, so literally this whole build cost me nothing. You could back that with plywood, which would probably be better, but I was wanting to just try and stay away from treated stuff and show that you don't need all the fancy stuff to be able to do something. But yeah, so far that's working really well. And now if you come with me, I'll show you the next little idea for growing stuff in small spaces. So just bear with me, and we'll be back in a sec. Alright, so next up we have another idea which is very simple, and it doesn't take much to do, and it doesn't cost hardly anything as well. So it's a way of growing a bit of food, and yeah, it doesn't take up any room really. So if you have a space like I do here, this is our deck. Excuse the mess at the moment. There's always a fair bit of stuff going on our deck, but it gets quite a bit of sun, gets nice and warm, and so we have an area here. This was made out of pellets again. This is just like a little wildflower grow box, pretty basic. We like to have the wildflowers in here to attract bees, but you could plant that with vegetables and stuff, it would be no problem. Once again, just get some potting mix and fill it up. Miriam actually made this, my wife, and this has been growing solid for about 2.5 years now. All these flowers have just self-seeded themselves. We haven't done hardly anything to it apart from watering it each day, and it's going really nicely. Like I said, you could put veggies in here. It doesn't have to be flowers, but it just adds a bit of you know, a bit of character to the deck now, and it makes it look nice. And the other thing that I've got here is just these here. These are like little bags that you can buy from Bunnings, I think it is, or Mitre 10, one of those. And once again, filled it up with some potting mix, and think we've grown potatoes, onions, all sorts of things in there. This here is garlic that I planted. This was just a bulb of garlic that, or a couple of bulbs of garlic that had sprouted in our pantry. So I saved some of the cloves and literally just put the cloves straight in there. Once again, this is a mixture in here of 50-50 potting mix and compost, and I don't really do much to this. I come out and water it every few days and just keep an eye on it. Over the summer this garlic actually died off, and I thought that it was gone, but sort of left it there and never got round to doing anything with it. Was about to tip it out, and I came to look at it and suddenly the garlic had re-sprouted again, so I've left it and it's doing great, and we're going to have loads of garlic in there. In this one here I've got some tulip bulbs that I planted that I had left over, didn't fit where I wanted them, so I've just put them in there, and they'll look really nice when they come up too. But yeah, once again, you could plant anything in there. You could plant a few cabbages or some herbs or whatever you like, really. Yeah, so there's just one more thing that I'd like to show you guys before we go, and it's over here. I'll show you what my latest little project is that I've been working on. Right, so and last but not least, this is my latest little idea. This is a system which I've got set up, which is actually called a deep water culture. It's a type of hydroponics type setup, but it's one that doesn't require much to get going at all. I looked into it a while ago. I really want to get an aquaponics setup, which is where you use fish. You have fish in a tank, and then they you feed them, and then the water gets dirty, and you can use that water to feed plants. Years ago I had a passion fruit vine that was outside the window to our fish tank, and each week we'd drain the fish tank out and it would water the passion fruit plant. So when we changed the water, and honestly it had the most passion fruit you've ever seen, and it was absolutely beautiful. But this is just a variation on that sort of thing, really, without the fish. So what we have here, I've got just a piece of polystyrene that came in a box with an appliance or whatever. Can't remember what we bought. It's just been lying around. The stuff's so hard to get rid of, but I thought I'd make use of it. Ideally I'd like to use something made of wood or something instead, a bit more biodegradable and a bit friendlier on the environment, but it's what I had, so I shoved it in there. So just cut it out, and I've just cut a hole in it, and these here are cabbage seedlings, so we're going to see how this goes. It's a bit of an experiment. I've never actually tried this before, but the idea is that in here, I don't know if you can see that very well, is a solution of water, and I used to have a worm farm, so I've put worm tea in there, but I think what a lot of people actually do is they'll put like liquid fertilizer in there, like a hydroponics type mix, but I'm just trying this with stuff that I've got. So in there's a mixture of water and worm tea, and that provides the nutrients that the plants need to grow, and eventually their roots will grow out the bottom of here, and they'll hang down into the water and soak up the nutrients. That's the idea anyway. But the other thing is, we'll just get this out and I'll show you the other part of it. Now this is essential for this. I've got an aquarium pump hooked up, which is actually in my garage, and I've just got this pipe coming out the door. But you need oxygen in there. Without oxygen the roots will go rotten and die. So I've got this aquarium pump hooked up, and it's constantly putting air bubbles into there. So yeah, this is my latest little experiment. We'll see how it goes. I'll keep you guys posted with the progress on it, and it'll be really interesting to see the difference in these broccoli versus my other ones which I'm going to plant in the ground, to see whether these ones grow any quicker or not. But the idea with it is that it's supposed to use a lot less water, because the plants have the water all the time that they need, so they'll grow a lot faster. But yeah, really looking forward to the results on this. If it goes really well, I might try and build something a bit bigger, a bit more complex. But yeah, for now, we'll see how it goes. So yeah, we'll just put that back together. So as you can see, they just hang out like that, out the bottom. And like I said, the roots will come down and hang into the water. When you're making these sorts of things, it's important to make sure that the water actually touches the roots. So you can see there that the water's at the thing, and the water just soaks up into here and waters the plants by themselves. So there you have it. There's just a couple of tips on growing in small spaces. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll try and get a few more of these sorts of things out for you guys, and yeah, I really am looking forward to seeing where this channel goes. So if you did like this, please hit the like button and subscribe, and share it with your friends if you think that they might be interested in this sort of thing as well. I'm going to post some updates quite regularly as the deep water culture system goes along, so every few weeks or whatever, we'll see how it is. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to going on this journey with you guys. So yeah, like I said, hit the like button, give it a big thumbs up, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.